Yeah, thank you, Mike.
I think you're all just letting it rip. And you're decency.
Just right now. It's heaven.
Best place.
You can let it fly. No one can hear it. No one knows it's you. I mean, an airplane. It's my heaven. It is when it comes to farting and pooping.
It's as close as you'll get.
Yes. What, to heaven? Yeah. I'll say hi to Harper Isles when I get there for you.
Hope you enjoyed the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
World Star. Hiring can be a slow process. Cafe Altura's COO, Dylan Miskowitz, needed to hire a director of coffee, so he went to ZipRecruiter, posted his job, and found the best person for the role in just a few days. How? ZipRecruiter's technology finds people with the right experience and invites them to apply to your job. It's no wonder 4 to 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/Dan. That's ZipRecruiter.com/DAN. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Ready? Okay. Give me an S. S. Give me an O. O. Give me an S. S. Give me an O. O. What's that spell?
So.
Are we gonna win?
Not if you play like a cheer.
Just okay is not okay. Whether it's cheerleaders or your wireless network, AT&T is America's best wireless network. Best network based on GWS One Score, September 2019.
ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. I'm Davis Allen with your UWF Argos update. Rich the Kid wasn't the only one lighting up the crowd during UWF's homecoming as the Argos football team dominated Delta State 48-3 on Saturday night, moving the Argos record on the season to 4-1 with a perfect 3-0 in Gulf South Conference play. Austin Reed completed 15 passes out of 24 attempts, throwing for 262 yards and 4 touchdown passes on the game. Shamari Mason added 2 more touchdowns and 101 yards on the ground, while Dimitri Birch led the receivers with 2 touchdown catches. Defensively, the Argos racked up 4 sacks on the quarterback, while David Richardson had an interception. Next up for the Argos, they will relax this week as they enjoy their bye week before they get ready to hit the road for West Georgia on October 19th. West Georgia takes on North Greenville this Saturday. I'm Davis Allen with your UWF Argos update for ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
You're listening to Pensacola's local and ESPN sports station. Your favorite ESPN radio shows, plus high school and UWF Argo football. ESPN Pensacola 1330.
We served our country like those before us.
The camaraderie is what kept me going. You know, it was a dangerous area. All of Vietnam was dangerous.
I didn't know what to expect when I got back.
For the first 10 years after I got out, no one would have known that I was in the service.
I got home, got married 2 weeks later, got a job.
We came back, built lives, families, and communities, but we still had challenges.
The carnage of war left an indelible mark on me.
I would have intrusive thoughts. They're horrible nightmares.
Services and support that can help are available for veterans.
I went to the VA, talked to my doctor.
I started doing groups. I started doing one-on-one counseling.
We found ways to move past these challenges for ourselves and for our families. At MakeTheConnection.net, you can hear our stories and find tools and services available to you.
The more I talk to people, family, friends, other vets, the better I feel.
Local sports radio doesn't stop on Fridays, which is why we bring you Sports Call with Davis and Justin.
College football, NFL, the MLB playoffs, UWF football. We're talking about the big games and sporting news every Saturday from 11 to 1.
Plus, interviews with the athletes, coaches, and fellow journalists.
Sports Call with Davis and Justin.
11 to 1 every Saturday on Pensacola's home for local sports, ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
It's Harley-Davidson's birthday, and they're throwing a party. It's Harley-Davidson of Pensacola's birthday this week, and Thursday night, it's a birthday blowout-themed bike night. Come out for the celebration with live music from The Flavors. 3D Eats and Tea will have great food for purchase, and Harley's Angels will be serving up free beer, water, and of course, birthday cake. Be there Thursday for the birthday blowout bike night at Harley-Davidson of Pensacola. Harley-Davidson of Pensacola, let's ride.
Locally owned ADX Communications, the home of Cat Country 98.7, News Radio 92.3, 1620 AM, and ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM, currently has programming job openings.
Specifically, ESPN Pensacola is looking for part-time hosts, board operators, and we have positions open for promotions and production. Find our job application at ESPNpensacola.com. ADX Communications is an equal opportunity employer.
Football season has arrived, and ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM 99.1 FM is where the action is. Bringing your high school football every Friday night, UWF football on Saturdays, and the NFL on Sundays. If you would like to partner with ESPN Pensacola as a sponsor or promotional partner, give us a call at 262-6000.
ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM 99.1 FM. WEBY Milton, Pensacola.
The following has been produced by Talk Football LLC. Former Florida Gators quarterback, NFL quarterback, and NFL head coach. Coach K. Stevenson has a resume second to none, and now he's sharing his insider information with you. Talk Football with Coach K starts right now on ESPN Pensacola.
Happy Thursday. Talk Football with Coach K is live now from ESPN Pensacola 1330 and on the FM at 99.1. I'm Joe Ford, joined as always by Coach K. Stevenson, Eric Vidrine also in studio as we get set for Thursday night football between the New England Patriots and the New York Football Giants. The Giants are going to be without basically everybody on offense. Daniel Jones is going to have a tough task to deal with the New England Patriots defense. Scoring defense ranking number 1 in the NFL, favoring very well when compared to some of the historic defenses in NFL history as well. No Saquon Barkley, no Evan Ingram, no Sterling Shepard, no Wayne Gallman. A lot to ask for a rookie quarterback. Coach, glad to be here with you as always, and I know how much you love watching the New England Patriots and studying what they do. And I think just about everybody who is planning on watching this game expects Bill Belichick to make life very difficult for Daniel Jones.
Well, I'm sure that'll be the case, but they will have certain objectives that they want to get accomplished. This is not going to be just roll your hat out on the field type game. They don't play those. So there will be certain objectives. I don't know what he may decide to work on. May decide to work on the running game and some other aspect of their football. Tonight may decide to do something totally different defensively. I wouldn't be surprised to see him play soft defensively. That's going to be interesting to see what type game plan and strategy they have for this particular game. And you're right, Daniel Jones is playing. He's going to be naked out there, but we'll see what happens. I think it'll be good overall if he doesn't get killed, which I don't think he will. I think it'll be a good experience for him.
Patriots favored by 17, and historically, Coach, when we've seen Bill Belichick go against young quarterbacks, it almost never goes in favor of the young quarterbacks. And it's kind of interesting from how you're kind of making it seem. It's almost like the Patriots have the luxury of basically doing whatever they want to work on. Almost like, I don't want to say this is almost like a scrimmage for them, but that's kind of how it looks to me. Is that they're going to be able to win this game and work on other things while taking on an opponent. It must be such a great place to be for an NFL team to be able to do that.
I don't want this to sound like anything like a scrimmage. Believe me, with Belichick, this is as serious as a heart attack. It's just as serious as any other game. I just think there are other teams that they play against, other games, where they concentrate. If you notice, they'll concentrate on. Sometimes they'll come out and throw 50 passes before they run 5 times.
Right.
Well, they're working on something. They're trying to get a certain part of their game honed up. It'd be interesting to see what they feel they need to do to take the next step tonight. It is huge for them. Belichick would consider this a big ball game because obviously they've got certain things that he feels they're not quite up to par on, and he wants to get there before they get into the meat of the season.
Some other news and notes, of course. We'll come back around and talk more about the Thursday night game. Also make our picks for that towards the end of the show. By the way, Brian Ahad's P&J reporter covering high school football. He'll be on the program at his usual time of 12:15 every Thursday, and then also UWF head football coach Pete Shinnick will join the program at 12:35 as the UWF Argos riding a 4-game winning streak heading into they have a bye this weekend, but we'll be back in action next week as well. News and notes from around the NFL. Vontaze Burfict, Eric, perhaps non-surprisingly, has his season-long suspension upheld. This is now the third time that he has been suspended for illegal hits, and they had a 3-game suspension, and I know in just kind of listening to some of the national shows that cover the NFL, especially for former players, I was kind of surprised that they were saying that a season-long suspension was too harsh. I do not see it that way.
I understand where the argument is coming from with it being too harsh and all that good stuff. I saw the hit live. I was watching that game, actually. We've actually talked on the Sports Drive with Chad Brillante how I told y'all I don't think the Raiders are as bad as the public's perception. And so far, that seems to be true. They play 3-2. They beat the Chicago Bears, and they did it pretty convincingly. Whenever I saw the hit, I could see why they would throw the flag. I'm not a big fan of the suspension and it being that length. I will say that whenever he was jogging off the field smiling and laughing, that didn't necessarily help his cause when he went for an appeal. I'm not a big fan of suspending people to that extent. I understand he's a repeat offender, but to that degree, I thought was a little harsh in itself. You have people that are doing other things. Kareem Hunt, he's out 8 games for domestic abuse. To me, I think that is a far more serious act displayed by him than opposed to being suspended for 12 games for playing the game of football when it's already hard as is because you have the strike zone that they have to hit you in. So I was not really too fond of the duration of the suspension. I would be okay with the suspension, but to that degree I thought was a little excessive, but I understand where you're coming from and as well.
Well, I think for me, and Coach, give you a chance to weigh in here as well, is that for number one, I mean, he is a repeat offender, but number two, the combination of how many times he's been punished in the past, plus, as Eric alluded to, the optics of when you do get the flag thrown on you, and when you are running off the field, kind of smiling, you have the peace signs up, and it just looks to me. I mean, I would lean that way if it was a guy who at least seemed to be remorseful. I mean, I understand that the NFL is a fast-paced game. You have such a small window of time to hit somebody at a specific point. I mean, I get all that, but it just seems like that no matter how many times this guy gets in trouble, that there is no remorse, there is no effort on his part to try to change the way that he conducts himself.
No, that's true. And 13 times. Everything has to have a limit. I don't care what it is. I mean, how many people can you kill without going to the electric chair or the gas chamber? I don't know. I got a guy right now who's killed 94. The only reason I mention that is everything has its limits. 13 times when he's been warned, he's been suspended before, he's been talked to, he's been agreed to go to the, which really does no good, but the therapy type sessions, he's agreed to do that. I know Jim Haslett, who coached him for 2 or 3 years there in Cincinnati, coached the linebackers, and Jim thinks the world of him. He really likes the young man. But I think when you hear, I've heard other players too say that he doesn't need to be in the league because the intent is not to hurt anybody, and if the intent is not to permanently injure anybody, how can you justify 13 plus times and all the other attempts to slow him down, to stop him, have not worked? They have not worked. So what do you do? I don't have any problem with them kicking him out of the game. I probably wouldn't have any problem with maybe them allowing after this year some type recourse so he can come back. But I'd be very careful with that.
Jacksonville Jaguars cornerback Jalen Ramsey back on the practice field yesterday. Just an update here from ESPN is Jags owner Shad Khan had what they call a heart-to-heart meeting with Jalen Ramsey, and he is of the opinion, Khan is that Jalen Ramsey will play against the New Orleans Saints on Sunday. So he had a 2-game absence. He had the birth of a child, and then also an apparent back issue there. But so I guess on the one hand, I respect the fact that Jalen Ramsey is coming back to his team, that he, at least for now, intends to play against the New Orleans Saints. So he has made it known that he would like to be traded, and he missed a couple of games, but he is apparently not going to stay away from the team anymore. Couple of injury notes here. A couple of big-time running backs missed practice yesterday. Todd Gurley for the Rams, as well as Christian McCaffrey for the Panthers. McCaffrey and the Panthers, of course, taking over the Buccaneers over in London on Sunday. McCaffrey, anyway, expected to be back at practice today. We'll see about Todd Gurley. Tyreek Hill also limited in practice yesterday as the Kansas City Chiefs appear to be missing for as much speed as they do have, with guys like Sammy Watkins, Mecole Hardman, Demarcus Robinson. They still don't really seem to have that big play threat that can kind of take the top off of a defense, and I think that has manifested itself in the last couple of weeks. So it will be interesting to see if Tyreek Hill is able to get back in action as the Chiefs take on the Houston Texans this coming weekend. Looking at the college football landscape, of course, we talked a lot about the Penn State situation with the letter, kind of the racial undertones there. Looks like Penn State is moving on from that. They're sticking up for their players. Very impassioned speech yesterday from head coach James Franklin. We talked a lot about that yesterday, Eric, but everybody on the Penn State side is saying the right things.
No, yeah, I like that. I like when one, that shows that you have a really good complete football team when you have everybody sticking up for one another. Because being inside of locker rooms, you got to understand the different types of personalities that are going on in there. So to have everybody come out and show support was very, very comforting. That's what I like to see in that situation. And then also a positive message that Franklin sent into not only the current players, but any interested recruits that he's going to have his players' backs. That goes a long way as well. So everything that they did, I couldn't agree more. They did everything the right way, and there's not a single thing that Penn State did that I would have done differently.
Just looking on ESPN, they ranked the top college football games by impact to the college football playoff conversation. And no surprise that the number one game this weekend, of course, Florida and LSU. Number two, Texas and Oklahoma. That'll be an 11 o'clock game on Fox. Michigan State at Wisconsin, and then followed by Penn State at Iowa. So a couple of Big Ten matchups, the Red River Shootout in the Big 12, and then the big game in the SEC is Florida at LSU. And Coach, as we get closer to the kick, I know that we've talked about this off and on throughout the week, but early on we were both kind of looking at LSU as being able to get the win here. We'll of course make our official picks against the spread tomorrow. But in your mind, from what you've heard and from everything that's coming out here as closer as we get to game time here, still LSU in your mind?
Yeah, the point spread is rather large. I think 14 points. LSU, I think that's too many points, to be honest with you. Florida's better defensively than that. LSU's not faced a defense as good as Florida thus far. But LSU is a very, very potent, dynamic football team, offensively especially. So it's going to be the LSU offense And versus the Florida defense, and can 14 points stand up in a game like that, especially a game as big as this is? I don't know. I just have my doubts. I wouldn't give up 14 points under no circumstances. Would I do that? So I don't know. We'll wait and see. Also, Alabama, Texas A&M is a huge game.
Looking at high school football, the high school football game of the week on ESPN Pensacola tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. We'll be out at Pine Forest High School as the Eagles take on West Florida. And coming up next segment, we'll hear from Brian Ahatz from the P&J as it's already start to think about playoff time. And the P&J put out an article earlier this week talking about area teams that would be in position to qualify for the playoffs. We'll talk about that and the weekend of games ahead with Brian Ahatz. Stay tuned to Talk Football with Coach K on ESPN Pensacola 1330, 99.1 FM.
I'm attorney Stephen Luongo with Levin, Papantonio, Thomas, Mitchell, Rafferty, and Proctor in Pensacola, Florida. Distracted driving is a dangerous epidemic on America's roadways. In 2016 alone, over 3,000 people were killed in motor vehicle crashes involving distracted drivers. This according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. For more information, please visit us today online at levinlaw.com. Please be safe on the roadways. Stop the text, stop the wrecks.
When you're looking for a great deal on a reliable new or certified pre-owned vehicle, you can't beat Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola. Bob Tyler Toyota has the best selection in town at incredible low prices. You can check out their amazing inventory from Camrys to Tundra trucks to 4Runners. It's all at Bob Tyler Toyota, and you can find it online at bobtylertoyota.com. Also score a touchdown this football season with the car of your dreams. Again, it's only at Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola.
Don't drop the ball this football season. Make Tom Thumb your game day destination. We are your first round pick for snacks, chips, dips, and drinks. Are you tailgating before the game? Don't get blindsided. Head to Tom Thumb for all your supplies. Score big savings with our rewards card. You'll earn 4 fuel points for every dollar spent in store. From hot dogs and buns to ice and propane, Tom Thumb has you covered to help you enjoy the game. For the ultimate game day, team up with Tom Thumb, the local store for local champions.
Hello, sports fans. Miles Bentley here, General Manager at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Pensacola. Growing up, I always loved sports. Nothing but net, out of the park, through the uprights. Sink the puck Bentley, that was me. But my love of the game couldn't beat my love for Pensacola and helping folks get on the road of dreams in a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Sure, I never went to the big leagues in sport, but we're all pro here at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola.
Sometimes your bank, your family, and your friends love you, but they don't have the money to help you. Sometimes we have chances to make money, but the old saying, you've got to have money to make money, rings true. At Pensacola Specialty Pond, we can help. If you have trucks, heavy equipment, airplanes, boats, jet skis, anything with value, Pensacola Specialty Pond can loan you that short-term money you need. No credit checks, and at Pensacola Specialty Pond, you're going to find the money and the discretion you need.
Now at 6428 Pensacola Boulevard, north of Car City. Call 432-9050, 432-9050.
At the 1955 Rose Bowl, Goodyear began providing stunning aerial coverage of college football, forever changing the way the game is experienced. In recognition of its significant contribution, the Goodyear blimp is being inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame as an honorary member. It's the first non-player or coach to ever be inducted. Goodyear is celebrating this honor by reminding you to look forward and make sure you're prepared for the road ahead. Discover more at Goodyear.com. Goodyear, more driven.
All right, it's time for some straight talk. You wouldn't pay $100 for seats to a baseball game where you can get the same seats for $50. So why pay more on your wireless when you can get the same 4G LTE networks for up to half the cost? For $45 a month, get our unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data from Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, only at Walmart.
Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Golick and Wingo.
A different host from ESPN Radio from around the country is going to make their pick in our Survivor pool.
This is Davis Allen from ESPN Pensacola, and my pick for the Golick and Wingo Survivor pool is Kansas City over the Jacksonville Jaguars.
That might be the toughest game on the board week 1, and Pensacola is swinging with Hall of Famer Patrick Hines.
5 to 9 every weekday morning. ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
You're listening to Pensacola's local and ESPN sports station. Your favorite ESPN radio shows, plus high school and UWF Argo football. ESPN Pensacola, 1330.
ESPN Pensacola 1330 and on the FM at 99.1. It's Talk Football with Coach K. Thursday edition. Second segment of Thursday means it's time for one thing and one thing only. High school football with Brian Ahatz, reporter for the P&J on the line. And Brian, we appreciate the time this afternoon. And first of all, the Jaguars. The Gardner Mania lives on, my friend.
Hey, something about that guy, man. It seems like you're always in the game. You know, it didn't turn out in the Jaguars' favor last Sunday, but I mean, he's really in every game he started in has come down to the wire, and really, I think a one possession finish in each of those. I mean, so there's some magic in the stash, man, and the stash to the flash has been quite a combo lately. That's DJ Chark at wide receiver, so that's been a lot of fun to watch.
And Brian, as we head to the middle of October, time to talk about playoffs. And I know that you guys wrote an article this week just talking about the area teams. If the season ended today, these were kind of the teams that would be in playoff position right now. So for the area teams, what are we looking at right now as who would be in the field?
Well, you're talking about 6 of the 13 teams in the Pensacola area, which is a pretty good number. I mean, I'm not a math major, but that's almost, I think, half of the teams in the area. So it's certainly not your father's or your grandfather's type of way the playoffs work in Florida high school football anymore. And it's not even really the way it was 4 years ago. These last 3 years it's been on a district championship is really the only way you can guarantee a playoff spot. And after that, it's at-large bids to the next 4 teams in the region. So there's usually 4 districts in each region in the state, 4 regions in the state total, and the 4 district champions in each region are the top 4 seeds. And then the next 4 seeds after that come down to an RPL. Anyways, I'm sorry. You asked me about who got in, and it's the top seeds in their respective classes. Catholic and Escambia are both seeded at number 1 in Escambia in Region 1-6A. Catholic in Region 1-3A are both number 1 seeds. Also in 1-6A, Washington is currently a number 5 seed, where they would be. Like you said, if the playoffs started today, Washington would be traveling to Daytona Seabreeze, which seems like it might even be a winnable game for the Wildcats right now. So, not to get too far ahead, I did skip over Region 1, Class 7A, where Navarre is just in right now with the last seed, the number 8 seed, and in Class 5A, Pine Forest is currently the number 3 seed in its region. And last but not least, Northview is the number 4 seed in Region 1, Class 1A. So those are the teams right now. You look at, I think, Milton, I believe, is kind of like a bubble team in Class 6A, and Gulf Breeze is a little bit behind Milton. Those are the teams right now that are kind of in the mix. You could say they're not quite ruled out yet. Also, J and 1A, if they're able to win out or come close to that, they got a chance to to crack a playoff spot. So it's definitely exciting stuff. Now this time of the year, the FHSAA will release those projected playoff rankings each Tuesday. So we will be on top of that right at the start of the afternoon. It's usually about just afternoon, about this time, honestly, on Tuesdays. If you hop on pnj.com/sports, you'll be able to see the updated playoff standings each Tuesday. So it's a good time of the year. It doesn't feel like October outside. You said it's October, and you're definitely right about that, but doesn't quite feel like it yet.
Well, I tell you, the way these standings are right now, Ron, the Milton Gulf Breeze game is extremely important in this week, huh?
Most definitely. I was talking with my colleague Eric Wallace last week, and that is that's the game. I think that will be the closest game this week. We're one of the closest games this week for sure, and it's really do or die for both of those teams right now, and so you're going to see a great matchup there, and don't forget that those teams had been district rivals for the last, I think, 4 or 5 years. So no longer district rivals, but it's gonna feel like it, and both teams know that if they don't kick it in gear this week or very, very soon, their seasons will end in about 3-4 weeks. So there's going to be a lot of urgency in that Milton Gulf Breeze game. And I should say too, though, West Florida actually has a chance because they've played such a tough schedule. That's such a big part of these playoff rankings. And though West Florida is sitting at 1-4, there's a way that there's a way that they could end up in one of those at-large bids in Class 5A. And of course, I mean, if they find a way to win the district, I mean that's another thing we can't forget. We've seen it happen in the past across the state where a team that kind of struggles in the start of the season, but finds a way to win the district championship, and they might not have the best record in the region or even close to that, but they end up with the top 4 seed by winning, getting in there the old-fashioned way and winning the district. So, these are definitely just projections, but certainly, strength of schedule and obviously winning games is what it's all about. So.
And Brian, as I was reading the article this week about the project or the playoff rankings at this point, I read it through the kind of like the explanation for how they get these seedings. I read it through 3 times, still didn't understand it, so I'm just going to trust that whatever it is that they're putting out there is accurate, because I do not have a college calculus degree to figure that stuff out there. You talk about West Florida and specifically, a matchup that they have tomorrow with a lot of history behind it. West Florida Pine Forest, that's our high school football game of the week, and I know you'll be out there as well. Pine Forest has kind of gotten into gear here the past couple of weeks, as they're on a little 2-game winning streak now. So 2 teams kind of at different ends of the spectrum in terms of the records, but in rivalry games like these, we probably expect West Florida to kind of play above what the record says right now.
Yeah, I think that's very well put. I mean, I think we'll see West Florida's best showing that we have, all year. And like you were talking about it being a rivalry game, and it's crazy because a year ago and since West Florida High School, was created. Excuse me. These schools were 0.2 of a mile apart from each other on Longleaf Parkway over there in the Pine Forest area, and now it's ironic because now they're closer in the sense that they are district opponents, but West Florida, has relocated, was formerly Woodham Middle, so it's they're closer, but they're farther away now. It's a little bit funny as to how that works out, but like you said, I totally agree. I think West Florida will see their best stuff. They're coming off they're very battle tested last week, facing Niceville, which looks like it might be the best team from here to Tallahassee, arguably. And they're, big 7A school and looking really powerful. And West Florida was able to keep it tied with Niceville going into the halftime break, ultimately losing, I think, 35-14. So if they're, if they can kind of ride what they did in that first half and do that for four quarters tomorrow night, I mean, that's you got to feel like that would make the game interesting. And I mean, this game last year, both teams are going to remember that because Pine Forest had that one pretty well, sewed up, and then I want to say West Florida scored 2 touchdowns in the final 6 minutes of that game and ended up winning. And it's Pine Forest homecoming. It was kind of a heartbreaker for the Eagles. So that's a little motivation for those returning players, and the West Florida guys definitely want to. That'd be huge if they're able to kickstart their season with a quality win like this, late, getting kind of late in the regular season. So it's definitely a lot of familiarity between the players on both those teams, especially with the schools used to be so close to each other. And, and nowadays it seems like every Friday night when a game kicks off, if it's 2 teams from the same county, there's a chance that there's 1 or 2 players on team A, let's say, that transferred from team B, previously in their high school careers. And there's definitely a couple kids on Pine Forest that used to be at West Florida. West Florida can't accept transfers. They're the one school due to their academies. That's the one unique thing about West Florida around here. But should be a good one.
Brian, we got about 30 seconds left here. So we've hit West Florida Gulf Breeze, West Florida Pine Forest, also Gulf Breeze Milton. Any other big games coming up on the schedule tomorrow?
Yeah, well, I just run through it really quick. You got Pace at Catholic. Catholic will look to stay rolling. Escambia looking to stay undefeated at Panama City Mosley. Washington also looking to stay undefeated, hosting Fort Walton Beach. Navarre hosting Tallahassee Childs. That could be a good game, I think. That's a district game. Tate traveling to the mighty Niceville. Northview's run-heavy game headed to South Walton, where they totally air it out, so contrasting styles there. Pensacola High traveling to Tallahassee to face Florida High, a very tough team, and Jay hosting Freeport, another tough team. So a lot of Pensacola area teams with some tough challenges this week. So it's getting down to that time for sure.
Brian, we appreciate your time as always. Really quickly before we get out of here, hashtag Beat Brian. How did we fare last Friday, and how can folks get registered to enter this week?
Last Friday was solid. I tried to get cute. I picked Milton over Washington. That one came back to bite me in the rear end, and so I missed one game. There was one participant that went perfect last week and beat me, and that was Ernie Parker. So shout out to Mr. Parker. That was a good stuff by him. And you got till 6 p.m. today to shoot me an email and sign up. So hop on to pnj.com/sports and look up the most recent Beat Brian story where it says one participant went perfect and Brian Arhatz missed one game, and you'll see the games and the instructions how to send me that email and everything right in there. So it's going to be another great week.
Brian, we appreciate the time as always. Thank you, sir, and we'll see you out there at Pine Forest tomorrow, okay?
Yeah, it'll be a good deal. Good deal. All right, thanks a lot, man. I'll catch up with you guys later.
Thank you. Again, Brian Ahatz, P&J reporter, covering high school football, joins the program every Thursday at the same time. We'll take a timeout. Coming back, UWF head football coach Pete Shinnick, live from whatever beach he's currently relaxing on. That's next. Talk football with Coach K, ESPN Pensacola 1330, 99.1 FM.
I'm attorney Stephen Luongo with Levin, Papantonio, Thomas, Mitchell, Rafferty, and Proctor in Pensacola, Florida. Distracted driving is a dangerous epidemic on America's roadways. In 2016 alone, over 3,000 people were killed in motor vehicle crashes involving distracted drivers. This according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. For more information, please visit us today online at levinlaw.com. Please be safe on the roadways. Stop the text. Stop the wrecks.
When you're looking for a great deal on a reliable new or certified pre-owned vehicle, you can't beat Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola. Bob Tyler Toyota has the best selection in town at incredible low prices. You can check out their amazing inventory from Camrys to Tundra trucks to 4Runners. It's all at Bob Tyler Toyota, and you can find it online at bobtylertoyota.com. Also score a touchdown this football season with the car of your dreams. Again, it's only at Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola.
Don't drop the ball this football season. Make Tom Thumb your game day destination. We are your first round pick for snacks, chips, dips, and drinks. Are you tailgating before the game? Don't get blindsided. Head to Tom Thumb for all your supplies. Score big savings with our rewards card. You'll earn 4 fuel points for every $1 spent in store. From hot dogs and buns to ice and propane, Tom Thumb has you covered to help you enjoy the game. For the ultimate game day, team up with Tom Thumb, the local store for local champions.
Hello, sports fans. Miles Bentley here, General Manager at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Pensacola. Growing up, I always loved sports. Nothing but net, out of the park, through the uprights. Sink the puck, Bentley. That was me. But my love of the game couldn't beat my love for Pensacola and helping folks get on the road of dreams in a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Sure, I never went to the big leagues in sport, but we're all pro here at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola.
Cooler weather is around the corner, and our free AutoZone Loaner Tool program is here to help you get your car in shape for those fall drives. You can choose from over 100 specialty tools, borrow the one you need, and get the job done right, all while saving precious time and money. And you can save even more with great deals every day on STP oil, starting at just $16.99 for a 5-quart jug of STP conventional motor oil. Visit us at AutoZone.com and start the job fast. Deposit required. Restrictions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. This human resources professional is crushing it, thanks to Kronos. And this is his hype song.
I've got HR, payroll, talent, and time.
I'm on the top, I'm gonna rise up.
Now we are engaging all the best people.
Blast off to the front of the field. This is Kronos, HR solutions for the modern workforce. Learn more at kronos.com/HR swagger.
You're listening to Pensacola's local and ESPN sports station. Your favorite ESPN radio shows, plus high school and UWF Argo football. ESPN Pensacola 1330.
Talk football with Coach K every weekday, noon to 1 here on ESPN Pensacola 1330. And 99.1 FM. Just heard from Brian Ahats, P&J sports reporter there, giving us our weekly look at high school football. A couple of big games tomorrow. Well, nowadays they're all big as playoff positioning is on the line. We will be out at we'll be out at Pine Forest tomorrow as the Eagles take on West Florida. Another big game is Gulf Breeze taking on Milton. So a couple of really big area games. So get out if you haven't yet this season to see some of our area high school football players do their thing. And UWF off this week, and we got head coach Pete Shinnick joining us from a beach somewhere, I assume. Coach, how are you today?
Doing well. Not at the beach, but good thought.
All right. Appreciate your time, and as always, I know how busy you are. Listen, Coach, you had you thumped them last week, I'll tell you. Great showing here at home. A lot of enthusiasm. Let's talk for a minute about that game, what you came out of it with, how you feel about your football team at this point.
Yeah, Coach, great crowd. It was our homecoming crowd, had 6,000 people at Blue Wahoo Stadium. Couldn't ask for really a better opportunity for our team to play the way they played and to really shut down a running team the way we did, and then to be able to just continue to grow and develop on offense. Things just clicked for us. And to score 48 points, to hold Delta State to the lowest point total in over a decade, just a lot of good things took place. We feel very good about what we were able to accomplish, and had a good week this week of trying to get better. As you know, this thing's so week to week, and you've got to continue to grow and develop, and that's really been the point of emphasis. And our guys have, we gave them Monday to lift and had 2 good practices, Tuesday and Wednesday. Today we're working on some special teams opportunities and some, last plays of the game, that kind of thing. And but it's been a good week, and I feel very good about where our team is right now.
That's great, and you're so right. This off week, if you have a bye week and have the chance, great time to work on situational play. And there's so much of it. People don't realize how much time it takes, and you're so limited during the week on a normal week that this is precious time to get that situation play. Let me ask you about your next opponent here, Coach. And I will say this, that I hope people realize that Delta State was a quality opponent in your league, and that was a real thrashing you put on them. So big win. Let's talk about who you got coming up here next on the schedule.
Yeah, we have the University of West Georgia, who has up till last week, been ranked continually. They've lost a couple games this year, bounced back last weekend against Shorter. They've always been a tough matchup for us. Our first year, they beat us better than anybody, and we got them obviously in year 2. And last year, they came to town and really minimized what we did. So our guys remember that. We know we've got to play a great game. We know that part of this week is getting better to play great at West Georgia. So our guys are working hard to get that done. But over the course of the last 5 years, West Georgia has probably been the most consistent team in our conference. Even though other teams have gone to the national championship game out of our conference, West Georgia's probably won the most games. So they've been a constant playoff team, and we have the ultimate respect for them.
Right. Well, I know you do. What are your travel plans? Just curiosity.
Coach, we do things. Division II is a little different. We're not flying in someplace, stuff like that. So this one's about a 5.5 hour trip. We typically leave here, somewhere around noon, and drive about 3-4 hours. Grab some dinner. Try to get to the hotel about 7:30ish. Hold our night meetings. And then it's a 2:00 kickoff. So, you get up, you hold a quick meeting, go to the pregame meal, and head off to the stadium. So it's a pretty quick turnaround.
Well, it is. It really is. I admire you for that. It takes a lot of discipline, too, to get that done and done properly, I'm sure. Do you have any time, do you ever leave a day earlier than that? And there's a reason I'm asking.
Yeah, Coach, we, when it's a long trip, okay, when we, if it's over, 11 hours, what we'll do is we'll practice here on a Thursday. We'll grab our guys some dinner, and we will then hit the road and, try to get about 4 hours of the trip done. Wake up the next morning, move around a little bit, and and then kind of finish off the rest of the trip. When you're bussing, obviously you're trying to find any way you can to make that as comfortable a trip as possible.
You bet. I know that's a heck of a problem you have to overcome, I'm sure, but you do a great job with it, and you've proven that over the years. Coach, I appreciate your time, appreciate you being with us. And we look forward to next week, next Thursday. We'll check up a little closer on your ball game with West Georgia.
No, appreciate it, Coach, and look forward to it. And talk to you next week. Thank you.
You bet.
All right, thank you to head coach Pete Shinnick. UWF, again, the Argos on the bye week this week and play West Georgia at 2 o'clock up in Carrollton. And as always, you can catch every UWF football game, home or away, right here on ESPN Pensacola 1330 and FM 99.1. Timeout. We'll come back and wrap up the show on a Thursday. Look ahead to Thursday night football and some of the top college games this weekend. We'll be right back.
I'm attorney Stephen Luongo with Levin, Papantonio, Thomas, Mitchell, Rafferty, and Proctor in Pensacola, Florida. Distracted driving is a dangerous epidemic on America's roadways. In 2016 alone, over 3,000 people were killed in motor vehicle crashes involving distracted drivers. This according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. For more information, please visit us today online at levinlaw.com. Please be safe on the roadways. Stop the text, stop the wrecks.
When you're looking for a great deal on a reliable new or certified pre-owned vehicle, you can't beat Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola. Bob Tyler Toyota has the best selection in town at incredible low prices. You can check out their amazing inventory from Camrys to Tundra trucks to 4Runners. It's all at Bob Tyler Toyota, and you can find it online at bobtylertoyota.com. Also score a touchdown this football season with the car of your dreams. Again, it's only at Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola.
Dude, it's game day, and I'm fired up that football is back.
I know, but I'm bummed they don't show my favorite team on TV around here.
All right, well, what about that place Calvert's? They're a really cool English pub-style restaurant, and they have a really good drink menu.
Yeah, but what about the game?
Don't worry, they have the NFL Sunday ticket and plenty of TVs, so we can watch any game that we want.
Ooh, I just looked at the menu, and that Abbey Road burger is calling my name.
Calvert's in the Heights Restaurant and Bar, 3102 East Urbana Street, calvertsintheheights.com.
There's only one place in town for the lowest prices and greatest selection of firearms. Pensacola Indoor Shooting Range. Visit our fully stocked Gun Pro Shop for new and used firearms, accessories, and ammunition. Check out the Indoor Shooting Range. We offer rentals on guns, including fully automatic machine guns and silencers. Ladies, this is the safe place to learn how to use a gun. Plus, Tuesday is Ladies' Day. Women shoot for half price all day. The best place to buy firearms in Pensacola. Pensacola Indoor Shooting Range, Highway 29 in Car City.
If you have frequent heartburn, take control of it with Prilosec OTC instead of stashing antacids everywhere, like in your junk drawer, buried under old batteries and hotel pens, or in your purse, hiding in the one pocket you won't check. You even have antacids on your nightstand, which are very hard to see in the dark. It's time you stopped stashing antacids and started taking Prilosec OTC. 1 pill a day, 24 hours, zero heartburn.
It's possible with Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days, not for immediate relief.
Take a step toward updating your home with exclusive LifeProof vinyl plank flooring from the Home Depot, starting at just $3.19 a square foot. It locks together for easy installation. It's waterproof, scratch resistant, and comes in a variety of trendy styles with over 40 colors to choose from. That's a step in the right direction. Today is the day for doing with LifeProof vinyl plank flooring, starting at just $3.19 a square foot. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing. U.S. only. See store for details.
Florida and LSU, Texas and Oklahoma at the Cotton Bowl, plus playoff baseball, the NFL, and UWF football back in the national rankings. It's on Sports Call with Davis and Justin this Saturday from 11 to 1 on ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Welcome to ESPN Pensacola 1330 FM 99.1. Pensacola's home to the best talk in sports, new and improved. We are ESPN Pensacola 1330 and FM 99.1.
You're listening to Pensacola's local and ESPN sports station. Your favorite ESPN radio shows, plus high school and UWF Argo football. ESPN Pensacola 1330.
ESPN Pensacola 1330 and 99.1 FM. I'm Joe Ford, joined, as always, alongside Coach K. Stevenson and Eric Vidrine in studio. Been about half hour since we've heard from Eric, so I just wanted to make sure that, yes, he is in the room.
Yeah, I'm just relaxing over here.
Yeah, but we had Brian Ahat, as we do every Thursday at 12:15, giving us a look ahead to the week of high school football. High school football game of the week for us tomorrow. We'll be out at Pine Forest High School as they take on West Florida. Brian will be there as well. And We're at mid-October, regardless of what the temperature says, and already starting to look ahead towards playoff seeding and positioning as our local area teams try to get into the good graces of whatever computer algorithm says yes, you're in, or no, you're not. Kind of like the College Football Playoff Committee and the BCS before that. NFL tonight, Thursday Night Football. The New England Patriots take on the New York Giants. And, Coach, we'll go ahead and kind of go into this one and make our predictions based on what we see as it looks like a lopsided matchup. There's really no other way to say it. Patriots 5-0 have the top-ranked defense in the National Football League. The Giants are 2-3. We have seen improvement since Daniel Jones has taken over as the starting quarterback, but the weapons for Daniel Jones are going to be guys that, nobody's really heard of before. As there's no Saquon Barkley, no Evan Ingram, no Sterling Shepard. Wayne Gallman, Barkley's replacement, got a concussion last week. He's not cleared. So it's the island of misfit toys on the outside for Daniel Jones tonight against the New England Patriots. So Patriots favored at home by 17.
Yeah, their own teammates for the Giants may have never heard of them, too. That's the problem. They may just show up at the stadium. But this is interesting game in many ways. I think it always is with the Patriots. There will be little subplots in the game plan. We've talked about before how Belichick will have certain things that he feels they need to improve on as a team. And he'll also have certain players that he will want to see if they can take the next step and develop, like especially with their offensive line, how they're having to depend on relative newcomers in offensive line. They've had a lot of injury there. And so he'll be watching them, and then the curtain will be up on whether they can handle certain things. He's gonna look at, put them in certain situations, like some calls may be made. Occasionally you've heard of they'll make a call, they want to see a certain back carry the ball in preseason, that type thing, and or a certain receiver get a target, be targeted, see how they react. He could be doing the same with either some of the offensive or defensive players, especially offense. Want to see a tackle with a certain type play, meaning maybe a trap or a pull, or getting outside on the screen, and he'll do these things to get an idea of his total football team. The difference in coaching and just going to play a football game and strategically coaching for the future of your season. And I think really that's what he's not going to be as interested in trying. He's certainly not going to try to run up the score. That's not in the ball game.
Well, I hope that in the overall grand plan for tonight for New England that Bill Belichick calls for about 15 passes to James White with about 4 touchdowns. That would be nice for me.
For your fantasy
for my
purposes?
Fantasy team, yeah.
Well, I promise you will see a heavy dose of James White. They are without Philip Dorsett, and Josh Gordon is banged up. So I do expect them to run the ball a lot, see a lot of Sony Michel. Brandon Bolden has scored 2 touchdowns in a row. Yeah. So I think that you're going to see them really try to just shorten this game to just preserve health for the most part. And the defense is obviously going to handle their business. So realistically speaking, New England's not going to have to do too much on offense to win this ball game. I have the Patriots winning something like 30-10, 30-7, something like that. But for your sake, you will see a lot of James White. You'll see some Brandon Bolden, and you will see some Sony Michel. So fantasy owners, don't expect too much from Tom Brady today because his weapons are a little banged up, and I expect them to run the ball a lot. But my prediction is going to be 30-7. I'm going to comfortably say that. So if you do DraftKings, I'm going with James White as well. I'll tell you that right now. I'm a big James White guy. I think he's the most underrated running back in the NFL. But that's what I would say about this game moving forward. What do you think, Joe?
You know, I don't. I see this as a game that the Patriots are going to win comfortably, but the offense isn't going to really put up that much in terms of stats. Kind of like what we saw from the Eagles last week against the Jets. I mean, there was just no need to let Carson Wentz loose, along with, Ertz and all the different weapons that they had. So, it wouldn't surprise me if the defense scored a touchdown or two. And, I think the Patriots are going to take control pretty early. I think, we're probably looking at, 2 or 3 turnovers for the Giants on the offensive side in this game. I'm really, really curious to see, not that Daniel Jones hasn't impressed, or not that the opponents that he's been going against, it makes me skeptical, but this is Bill Belichick, and this is the best scoring defense in the National Football League. So I'm looking for, and Coach, I'll be really interested in what you have to say about Daniel Jones tomorrow, because, he is going to be confused. He is going to be made to be uncomfortable, we think. But going against Bill Belichick, especially without the weapons that any other team would love to have, Saquon and Evan Ingram, Sterling Shepard, guys like that. So he's really on an island by himself in terms of just quality people around him. So I'm really interested just to see how he plays the quarterback position in such a tough environment.
Well, it would be tough if you were playing the quarterback position and you were allowed to pick an all-star team to go play the Patriots. You'd still have a tough time as a quarterback. So with him, with what he's got going for himself, with that, I mean, my gosh, you got nothing there that can.
There's no expectations.
Right. But Daniel Jones, and I will say this, and I'll say it again and again and again. I said before, certainly after the Combine, if anybody had given me a chance to draft a quarterback number 1, it would have been Daniel Jones. No question about it. He is absolutely what you're looking for, I think, in a quarterback. And I think he's going to be an outstanding quarterback. I think they made a great choice, and that's going to be proven true. It's going to be tough for him, obviously, tonight. But in the long run, it may be good for him, Joe. We certainly don't want to see him knocked around, banged around, hurt in any way, but it may be good for him to have seen what he will get a chance to see tonight, and then hopefully get some people back. And, one thing that I'm interested in, where is the number 1 draft choice, the receiver from Arizona State for the Patriots? They need him very badly. They don't have any receivers. Think about it. They really don't. They're shy, especially with the little guy banged up. The little guy's still got bad ribs, and I mean, they just don't. They don't have any.
That's why I think they'll run the ball a lot today. Try to get some health.
I think they will for that and the other reason too. I think that's something they've got to get honed up. But. Yeah, I'd like to see this kid come on. I hope he's not a bust. I'd like to see him come on. And play.
Yeah, well, N'Keal Harry, he was before the season, he was put on IR.
So week 10.
And so it was, he has to miss at least the first 8 weeks. So, and I don't know if the Patriots have a bye in week 9 or if
I think he'll return
case,
week 10.
But yeah, so he's on the IR right now. But yeah, I mean, and it's really interesting, again, just a kind of case of how quickly things change. I mean, we were talking about the Patriots, 4 weeks ago, especially with Antonio Brown, and how Tom Brady has never had this much talent at the wide receiver position, backs and receivers, with Brown and Gordon and Edelman, and now all of a sudden it's like, wow, the pass game is just really the weakness right now for this Patriots team. Now they haven't necessarily needed that dominant pass game, but they will at some point this year.
And Gronkowski, they don't have the tight end there.
Yeah.
Think about what they don't have, and they've got to replace somehow, the catches and the impact of losing Gronkowski and the receiver position itself. And somebody's got to be able to take the top off. Right now, I don't think they really have anybody that can force take the top off defensively.
James White could.
Yeah, he could for some fantasy purposes.
Yeah.
No, but here's an interesting fact for y'all. If Daniel Jones is able to slay Goliath today and beat the New England Patriots, he'll be the youngest quarterback to beat the Patriots. Do you know right now who's the youngest quarterback to beat Bill Belichick with the Patriots?
Roethlisberger.
Exactly,
Oh,
Roethlisberger.
okay.
Yep. Roethlisberger. If you remember when he came in and replaced Tommy Maddox, he won like 15 games straight, and in that stretch,
was his rookie year, was it not?
Yeah. And then his sophomore year, essentially, he won the Super Bowl with Jerome Bettis. So,
and I remember, in that Steelers team, I mean, it was Jerome Bettis, and I don't remember the other running back. Willie Parker, but yeah, it was just run right down your throat there. But yeah, good stat there. Well, that'll do it for us on a Thursday. We'll be back tomorrow for a Football Friday, making our picks for a tremendous weekend in college football and the NFL. Coach, Eric, pleasure as always. We'll see you tomorrow. Stephen A. Smith coming up next, and the Mouth of the South, Paul Feinbaum at 2. We'll see you tomorrow.
Football season has arrived, and ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM 99.1 FM is where the action is. Bringing your high school football every Friday night, UWF football on Saturdays, and the NFL on Sundays. If you would like to partner with ESPN Pensacola,